Hey guys, welcome to the mini ERT demonstrating how to install, set up and use Endnote for Mac OSX. So just the point before we get started, if you guys do want to properly learn how to use Endnote for the purpose of referencing journal articles or websites or books or the material that you come across and want to use for your reports, and this applies also to pretty much every other unit at uni, we strongly recommend you go to UWA's library and book yourself an Endnote training session. What I'll be doing today is just basically showing you what I would do if I wanted to download, install and use Endnote. So to begin with, I've got UWA's primary website up here, just www.uwa.edu.au, open in my browser. I want to install Endnote, so I'm just going to site search here and then type in Endnote, and away we go. The first result that pops up is download Surfos and Endnote, so it's actually pretty easy to track down. It'll ask you for your student name and your password, your FEMI password, so you'll need to go ahead and enter these in order to identify yourself as a UWA student entitled to use the software for free. Now there's a series of software packages here available to you. Endnote is the one that you want to choose. I don't know much about the other packages, but I'm sure they're perfectly fine. There will be some information here about Endnote. You just click on Next, and then it'll take you to a license agreement. Remember, Endnote is proprietary software. UWA has a license to use it, and as a student you're entitled to download and use it for free, which is actually fantastic. So you need to accept that license agreement. It'll come up with a number of versions available for the various operating systems, as well as different versions of Endnote. At the moment I'm running OSX Mavericks, which is the latest update of the Mac or the Apple operating system. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Mac X7. So this is Endnote X7 for Mac. And then you just click on download and it'll begin downloading the site installer, what's called a damage file, that you then go and install into your computer like you would with any other Apple compatible software. Okay, so for now I'm going to assume that you have done this. You download the Endnote installer and you set it up. Remember that when you install Endnote, and Endnote will actually tell you this, it installs some extremely useful software called Cite While You Write, and you need to have Microsoft Word or whatever software package you're using closed in order to install Cite While You Write into your document editor. Right, okay, so once you have downloaded and installed Endnote, you can boot it up, and this is my Endnote here. So what you're looking at here is my references list that I created as I was doing my PhD. What you're going to end up seeing when you open up your Endnote is probably something more akin to this, which I've actually got a couple of fracking references here. Woo! Anyhow, I will just remove these, just deleting them just for the purpose of showing you exactly what you're going to end up opening up. So this is your Endnote library. You can of course name it whatever it is that you want. And this window effectively allows you to facilitate the references that you download off the website or create using Endnote itself. Okay, so there are multiple ways to create references. The initial way to create a reference is just to move your mouse up to the new reference window here and click on that. And then you'll see here it'll come up with a little set of fields, and it usually defaults to journal article here. But if you click on the journal article little tab here or drop down box, you'll see that you can pretty much add various things, including web pages. And I know a number of you guys in your research on hydraulic fracturing, you will be initially using websites as your primary reference material. Okay, so here are all the fields that you will need to input in order to make your reference something that is valid and is citable. With websites it can be a little bit difficult. The author can be a bit difficult to track down. Often the organization that is hosting the website can be put in as the author. Year, you'd put in the access year, the title of the web page, the various other bits and pieces. You don't need to worry about every single field, but you do want to worry about the relevant fields, which include things like the, do I have access date here? So the date when you accessed that web page, and also the URL, which is down the bottom here. So these are things that will be cited when you insert a web page into your document that you're editing. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use UWA's library to track down a peer-reviewed, scientifically valid, published journal article related to hydraulic fracturing. Now, UWA's library, again, we recommend that you go to, oops, not library. We recommend that you go to a library and book yourself an Endnote training session to basically get the full deal. The ability to be able to track down references and basically cite things, download articles that are relevant to what you're studying is a skill that is absolutely critical to your studies at UWA, not just in Earth 1105, but pretty much everything you're going to study. You can use OneSearch. OneSearch is fantastic software for facilitating your initial searches. Personally, I like to use websites such as Science Direct, which is Elsevier's database that hosts all of their publications that they produce around the world. There are alternatives, of course. There's the American Chemical Society. There is Web of Science, which is Thomson Reuters. So as you're beginning your investigation, you will find your own databases that are handy. So I'm going to take you to my favorite, which is Science Direct. I'm doing this from home at the moment, so you are going to have to, if you're doing it from university, you won't have to enter in your credentials. Okay, I'm going to open this view online into a new window. Now, Science Direct basically hosts, like I said, maybe thousands upon thousands of peer-reviewed, scientifically valid journals. And I'm going to type in hydraulic fracturing into here to see what happens. Fracturing. Okay, so I put in hydraulic fracturing, and you can see that I've found 12,501 articles. That number has actually gone up since I checked it this morning. It was 12,300 this morning, and it's gone up by another 200 articles in the space of a day. Amazing. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down and take a look at some of these articles. Now, Endnote has a number of ways with which you can take these articles and input them into Endnote. One way you can do it, so for example, oh, look at this, fracking, controversy, and communication. Cool. That looks like a fantastic reference for those of you that are looking at things like energy policy or fracking in the media and public perceptions. One way you can download the citation is to just select it. So I've just selected it there with a little tick box. Come up to the top, and then there's an export facility here, and you'll see that export file as an RIS for Endnote Reference Manager Pro Site. Now, just a caution here, all of these websites, including ACS, Web of Science, SpringerLink, they usually have their own means of exporting their citations. So just because Science Direct has their exporting button up the top here doesn't mean other websites will. And so you could export it as an Endnote file and then import it into Endnote very easily. What I'm going to do instead is show you something that's very cool. It's a fairly new feature of Endnote, and I believe it's only useful for articles that have been published within the last few years. You can download the PDF directly from these various websites, and you can see here we've got the Journal of Energy Policy, and this is the full article containing all of the text. So I'm going to save this article into wherever it is that I store things. For me, it's in my downloads file. I'm going to press save there. Right, and there's the PDF. It's come down. I'm going to go back to Endnote, and then Endnote in Mac does not have an import button that I can see. So you need to go File up the top left here, and then click on Import. And then it's going to take me through to my downloads folder because that's where I usually operate from. And this is the article that I downloaded, this complicated name-looking thing here. Press import, and because Endnote now has this particular functionality, it will go online and track down all of the metadata, including, fantastically, things like the authors involved in this. So I don't have to type all this out. The year, the title of the article, the journal that it belongs to, the volume, the pages, as well as the DOI, and last but not least, of course, the PDF attachment related to this article. Okay, so you've gotten this far and you're thinking, yeah, that's kind of cool, Andy, but what the heck's the point? This is EndNote, not Word. How on earth am I going to type these into Word? Well, welcome to Cite While You Write. So I'm going to boot up Word now. This is Word 2011 for Mac. And if you've installed EndNote correctly, you'll see here that you will have a toolbar called X7, and it'll feature somewhere along the lines here. For Windows, they put the toolbar up the top here. For Mac, they put the toolbar as a separate thing here that you can use. So I'm going to type in a sentence that I'm going to then use the reference that I downloaded as my citation for it. So I'm going to say fracking is a topic of controversy in various parts of the world. And I do believe the article that I downloaded says exactly that, of the world. Okay, and I want to support this because, saying that as a topic of controversy, I need to provide evidence that, yes, it actually is a topic of controversy. So when I come back to EndNote and I read this article, which I have done already, and it's actually fantastic, this here does support at least that it's a topic of controversy in continental United States. Okay, so here I have my sentence here, and so at the bottom of my document I have my references list, but I haven't begun to construct it because I haven't actually inserted anything from EndNote yet. So under citations here, this little button here, I press that, and you can see that one of the options here is insert selected citations. I'm going to press that now. Now with your version of EndNote, it'll probably automatically go through and update the bibliography. I've modified my version of EndNote a little bit, so I actually have to go through to bibliography here and then update citations and bibliography. You shouldn't have to do this. By default, it'll do it automatically, but because I'm a long-term EndNote user, I've mucked around with the settings a bit. Just a point here, you can see that we are using the Harvard style of referencing. There are many different styles of referencing depending on what your unit requirements are. Earth 1105 uses the UWA Harvard style of referencing, which is available if you take a look at tutorial sheet number 3, I think. Anyhow, just more on that later. So you can download the EndNote style sheet for this particular unit. The Harvard one will do quite well just here as an example. So I'm going to click on Update Citations and Bibliography. EndNote's going to go away and do its thing, and you can see here that it has formatted Boudet et al. Into my sentence here. And then in my references list here, and remember I just typed this out earlier, it has put all of the details that are required. Pretty cool, huh? One button, after I've downloaded and read my relevant articles to EndNote, but one button, and the next thing you know, I have the reference formatted exactly as I want it to be. Of course, you can go through and change the styles if you're feeling brave, but alternatively, you can download the EndNote style sheet available from UWA's Information Services Guide. Just quickly show you that, so I'm going to go to UWA here, to the website here, and then go to Harvard style referencing. Look at that, I even got it there. Let's see what gets booted up. Guides, I think this might be it, or it's one of them. You can access this differently from the tutorial sheet. If I go to LMS and then go to tutorial sheet, I think it's number 3. I'll take you there now, and I believe that you can directly link to the relevant guide. So I'll just go to Earth 1105 here, and then track down tutorial sheet 3. Ooh, look at that! Tutorial 5 is available now. Ooh. Okay, so tutorial sheet 3 is oh boy, I can't find it anywhere. Week 1, week 3, tutorial information sheet 3. Okay, so you'll see here that Harvard referencing style applies. You can just click on that link. It'll take you to the relevant website. Why is referencing important? It tells you all the bits and pieces. Notice that they do not really use a punctuation with some of this. But down the bottom left here, you have the UWA Harvard style file. Just click on that. It will download this. I'm going to install this into my EndNote styles sheet, which is Applications, EndNote X7, and then Styles are here. Okay, and then I'm just going to copy paste it from my Downloads folder into here, and then away we go. Okay, so now I've got UWA Harvard style. I wonder if I can already access it. Go Word here, and then select another style. UWA, where is it? STU, UWA Harvard 2011. Oh, I've got 2 of them. Let me try this one. Choose, and then, oh, look at that. Yeah, it did work. Okay, so now it's done the referencing exactly in the style that we've asked you to do according to tutorial sheet 3. All right, all of this stuff has been very simple to do. I've taken you on a bit of a tangent simply because I want you to basically see some of the things that you can do with EndNote and some of the resources that are available to you. If you have any questions, put something up on LMS. But apart from that, download EndNote, use it with your reports, and best of luck in developing your independent projects. Catch you guys later.